Welcome to Fanfiction Audiobook. Marvel Super Extraction. Chapter 21, Hit the Iron Man. Although Tony couldn't make any gravity ring for Zhang Yuan, or something like gravity, but he also got a full body weight bearing armor for Zhang Yuan. In addition, Zhang Yuan also got a big sword. This is a big sword with a height of 2 meters. The blade is quite heavy. Tony Stark is doped with a lot of special alloys, such as the super alloy known in the world, the Edmund alloy. Such a giant sword gave Zhang Yuan not only to train Zhang Yuan, but also to be a fighting weapon. If Zhang Yuan is holding this sword and waving all his power, what kind of car, armored car, and the like can be hardened? Unfortunately, the Edelman alloy, even if it is the industrial wealth of Stark, and a lot of special materials, but the number of such alloys is very rare, cannot be used to make a giant sword. Zhang Yuan's weapons are only a small amount doped some. When Tony Stark made this thing, Zhang Yuan struggled to toss himself in the gym. At the same time, Tony Stark was also the developer of the exoskeleton portable armor. As for the outside news media, as well as Opadia, Stein, or something, they were temporarily ignored by Zhang Yuan and Tony Stark. Time is passing by them so quickly. In a blink of an eye, 6 days passed. Tony Stark has to say that it is really a genius in weapons development and creation. In just 6 days, Tony Stark successfully developed the exoskeleton armor. And not only did it not be developed, but also based on the story of the first generation of exoskeleton armor, directly to an upgrade. Whether it is the materials used or some of the core design, it is many times better than the one made by Tony Stark in the cave. After all, he has Jarvis assist in his own lab, and what materials he wants, weapons can be mobilized for the first time. That is, as the exoskeleton armor is manufactured. Tony Stark began to think about the coloring. In the end, he chose the red and gold mix of Sayabao as in the story. When the exoskeleton armor was built, Tony Stark began various tests, weapons attack, and flying at high altitude. After a certain test, I felt that there was no problem with the temporary exoskeleton armor. Tony Stark immediately ran to the gym where Zhang Yuan was located and found Zhang Yuan, still training. This time, Zhang Yuan is wearing heavy armor and holding a huge sword in the room to make a variety of toss. At this time, the gym he was in was also reinforced by Tony Stark to ensure that he would not be broken or destroyed by Zhang Yuan. Hey, man! Look at the trick. As soon as he entered the gym, he saw Tony Stark's right hand stretched out, and then he saw his palms appearing. An electronic gun attacked Zhang Yuan. When Tony Stark attacked, Zhang Yuan was doing a deep squat, and he was too late to dodge the Tony Stark attack. However, in fact, when Tony Stark's attack slammed up, he saw Zhang Yuan's figure in the flash of light and flashed out to the side, and he escaped the attack. Haha, come again. Seeing that Zhang Yuan escaped the attack, Tony Stark was no exception. Since the last time he checked Zhang Yuan's body, he knew that Zhang Yuan's reaction speed was very fast, so he attacked and fell, and immediately turned to Zhang Yuan attacked, this time instead of using the palm of the gun to attack, but the left hand was clenched into a fist, followed by the left hand fist to emerge a large number of muzzle, and then a series of bullets attacked Zhang Yuan. Hey! The bullets fired quickly, and Zhang Yuan's figure was also quickly evasive under the shooting of these bullets. Zhang Yuan, be careful, I want to open Jarvis's attack aid. Seeing Zhang Yuan once again evading his attack, Tony Stark followed Zhang Yuan. Although come, Zhang Yuan did not hesitate. As soon as his words fell, he saw Tony Stark order Jarvis. Jarvis opens the auxiliary lock. Yes, sir. The mechanical sound rang from Tony Stark's armored headset, and then in the vision of Tony Stark's helmet, it was a bit locked to lock Zhang Yuan. At the same time as locking, Tony Stark fired again. Hey! Suddenly a series of bullets attacked Zhang Yuan again. The attack speed was very fast, many times faster than before, and each shot locked Zhang Yuan, and the scene became dangerous in an instant. Zhang Yuan's eyes are all one of them, and his body shape keeps evading. Jarvis calculates the range of dodge flashes in Zhang Yuan, predicts the lock attack, and pays attention not to attack the naked and exposed parts of Zhang Yuan. Tony Stark ordered again. Then, following Zhang Yuan, it was discovered that Tony Stark's attack became more dangerous. In some cases, the direction of his own flashing was just the place where the next wave of bullets came, and it was like he took the initiative to send the body to the attack position. General, let Zhang Yuan have to make a secondary change between the electric and the flint. This is also his quick response, meeting other people, cannot change the phase. But even so, the attack was not able to escape very quickly, and one of the bullets hit him and he was about to hit him. When he was about to hit him, Zhang Yuan's giant sword in his hand would block the bullet from flying out. At the same time as the bullets were fired, Zhang Yuan took shape and attacked Tony Stark. Tony, you also pick me up. Speaking of two holding swords, while attacking, while waving a sword to Tony Stark smashed up. Shit, I can't stand you a sword, and quickly stop. Tony Stark was shocked, and quickly dodge, the jet-assisted opening under his feet, the shape of a lightning-like retreat, the danger of escaped Zhang Yuan's attack, but as soon as he escaped, Zhang Yuan's sword was swept away and he attacked Tony Stark again. After all, Tony Stark had just created the exoskeleton armor. It didn't take long for him to control what was naturally unskilled. Where can he escape such an attack? He was suddenly swept on his body, flew out suddenly, and fell heavily. Ground, when he fell to the ground, the exoskeleton armor had no small damage, almost hard to be borne by Zhang Yuan to the body from Tony Stark. Chapter 22, Ants, the combination of Spider-Man and Iron Man. I said that your kid is going to kill your brother? I knew that I wouldn't give such a giant sword at the time. After being shot on the ground, Tony Stark opened his mask and smoked the pain of the gas, screamed and smashed the source of the river. I am not here to test the strength of your exoskeleton armor. I can bear my sword so much that you have a good exoskeleton armor, but there is still room for improvement. Zhang Yuan is not embarrassed, said the opening. Improving the natural transformation is a must, but this is also the control of my external skeleton armor. Otherwise, your kid will wait for me to hang, especially in the open area outside, if I want to hit you at high altitude. Even if you have good strength and good response, it will certainly be sad reminder. Tony Stark nodded, followed by some unwilling to say to Zhang Yuan. High altitude is indeed a weak side for me now, but this is not Tony. Do you exist, since you have made this exoskeleton armor, and also give me a set? Zhang Yuan Dao. Khan, your kid asked me to develop this thing at the time, it would not be to play this idea. Tony Stark squinted at Zhang Yuan. You know. Zhang Yuan did not blush. Shit, it's really. Tony Stark fell. After playing for a while, the two men followed Zhang Yuan to Tony Stark. Tony, have you tried this super high altitude flight? Not yet. What's wrong? What's the problem? Tony Stark shook his head and asked incomprehensible. That means that you have not solved the problem of icing caused by your exoskeleton armor once it is too high flying. Zhang Yuan Dao. Icing. Damn, you don't say that. I really ignored such a thing. Tony Stark suddenly changed. In addition, Tony, I think that you are now attacking the weapon of this exoskeleton armor, and there are still some things that can't be done, because it is more powerful. Zhang Yuan Dao. I also think, but once you get some too powerful energy attacks, the energy consumption is too large, even if the energy of the arc reactor is very strong, but it is not enough. Tony Stark shook his head. If it's just this, then I advise you to go to your chairman's office and take Howard's old-fashioned egg to the urban model that you originally produced. If you remember correctly, there is Howard in the city model. The new element left to us is many times more powerful than the energy of the palladium arc reactor you are using now. Once researched, not only the power, but also the attack power will be much stronger. Zhang Yuan wrote. How do you know that there are new elements? I don't know anything about this. Tony Stark widened his eyes. I said it anyway, believe it or not. Zhang Yuan shrugged. Letter, how can I not believe it? You guys have become quite mysterious since they mutated. In addition, Howard's old-fashioned egg is also. This is dead. I have to give me a lesson. I thought it is now. I have already surpassed him, I did not expect him to leave a hand. Tony Stark should have a cry, followed by some unwillingness. Don't entangle this problem, get the template back soon. In addition, today's exoskeleton armor, it is portable. How are you developing? Zhang Yuandao. How can we develop? There is only one part and one part at the moment. Tony Stark said. That can't be done. You have to make him the easiest. You can try to get some neurons. No matter where you go, you can summon the external skeleton armor to get the fastest dress. In addition, if it is okay, it is best to make out what dimension space and so on, let the exoskeleton armor carry it with you, a thought will immediately dress, only to meet some sudden dangers, to maximize the safety of your life. Zhang Yuan wrote. What do you say about neurons? This is what gives me some ideas, but you can say that the dimensional space, but also you dare to think, as far as I know, research labs in this area, secretly organize a lot of things. But no one has succeeded at all. Tony Stark was speechless. No one succeeds, it does not mean that it will never succeed. There are some mutants in the world who are able to directly shuttle through the space. The mutants can carry out space shuttles, so why can't we make the dimensional space? Zhang Yuandao. But this requires media. I have to let me have some contact with that aspect first, or if you want to catch a variant of the space ability, as long as he cooperates with me to study, I promise to get the dimensional space. Tony Stark's eyes flashed in the eyes. For now, let's wait, it's hard for us to catch people like that. Zhang Yuandao. That line, then I will continue to strengthen the exoskeleton armor, first solve the icing thing, and then try to make it more convenient. Recently, I mainly developed its flight, combat, portable. On the other hand, I haven't gone to major research and development. As for the new elements, these things are almost done again, or you can go to the company to take the model back. Speaking of it, I haven't been to the company for a few days recently. You are not saying that it's Opad Destin who wants to kill us not long ago? I don't know if he has done anything wrong with the group recently, just happened. Help me see. Tony Stark. Yes. I will help you get it. Zhang Yuan's light was slightly moved, then he nodded. That's it, I went to improve the armor. Tony Stark dropped a sentence, then left the gym and continued to go back to the lab. Chapter 23, Sudden Punch. Seeing Tony Stark went so far, Zhang Yuan looked around the gym that had just been messed up by Tony Stark's attack, slightly licked his mouth, didn't pick up anything, and directly took off his heavy armor. Then, I lost the sword in my hand. This is because he has taken off the heavy armor since Tony Stark gave him a heavy armor and a giant sword. He actually didn't want to take it off. But after all, I will go out after all. Even if there are a lot of cosplay in this year, it is too exaggerated to wear a heavy armor. It is easy for some people to pay attention. When Tony got the exoskeleton armor out, he must let him find a way to get a gravity ring out of it. Zhang Yuan felt the relaxed feeling on his body after he had removed the key armor. Then Zhang Yuan did not have any muddy water, ran to wash it quickly, and then put on a casual suit, went to the villa's garage, and drove a sports car to Stark Industries. 1 hour later, Zhang Yuan came to the Stark building. When he came here, he pulled out an identity card and entered the Stark building unimpeded. No one blocked him from start to finish. Every place in the Stark building must have an identity card. The average person would like to enter it. And the more up, the more rigorous the protection, what fingerprint recognition, pupil recognition, or something exists. After all, it is the headquarters of the largest arms manufacturing group in the country. If there is no strict protection in this place, then once it is sneaked in by someone with a heart, the harm to the group is naturally quite large. No matter what weapon manufacturing map or some core technology, it must not be leaked. It was also when Zhang Yuan entered the Stark building. Boss, Zhang Yuan came to the building and is heading to the position of the chairman's office. Some people suddenly used the newsletter to report to Opadia, Stanway. This time Opadia, Stan sits in the office of his top executive, mouth, biting a cigar. When he heard the report from his men, he glanced at it. What is this wastewood going to the Stark group at this time? Didn't he always like to come to the group? Opadia, Stan is quite curious. After slightly turning his thoughts, he stood up from the boss's chair, then slightly arranged his clothes, and walked out of the office door. When I walked out of the gate, I saw the door of the office, with two black men guarding the place. When they saw Opadia, and after Stein came out, he did not ask about what Opadiastam had. He chose to keep up with Opadiastam and silently followed him. In the course of their advancement, they soon came to a corridor. When they arrived here, they saw Zhang Yuan Zheng in both pockets, walking forward with a faint look, looking at the surroundings from time to time, though I was amazed, but there was no change in my face. The surprise is of course curious about some of the high-tech equipment inside Stark Industries. Hey, Zhang Yuan, I haven't seen you for a long time. How come you have time to come to the headquarters of the group today? Finally, I think that this group has your shares. When I saw Zhang Yuan, I saw Opadiastam. The deputy was very surprised to see Zhang Yuan's appearance. He smiled and said hello to Zhang Yuan. He said that he was also approaching Zhang Yuan and made a gesture to embrace Zhang Yuan. However, when he approached Zhang Yuan and was ready to embrace Zhang Yuan, he saw Zhang Yuan suddenly in the left hook boxing in the abdomen of Opada, but only hit the Opadayan pupils violently. Just like a shrimp, he bent down and his face became pale. Zhang Yuan's awkward hands-on, but completely let Opadiastam not think of it. At the same time, it was not only that Opadiastam did not think that the two black-clothed bodyguards behind him did not think of it. After the accident, they rushed forward and protected Opadiastam. At the same time, one of them stepped forward and was ready to attack Zhang Yuan. Stop! However, without waiting for the black man's bodyguard to attack, Opadiastam resisted the pain and stopped the attack of the bodyguard. Hearing such an order, the black man bodyguard had to stop the attack, but although he stopped the attack, he was very vigilant to watch Zhang Yuan and prevent Zhang Yuan from continuing his attack on Opadiastam. Hey, man, what are you doing? Why suddenly gave me a punch and almost didn't give me my breakfast? After Opadiastam stopped the black man's bodyguard, he licked his belly. While straightening up, I was very confused and looked at Zhang Yuan. The corners of my eyes kept twitching, and the pain was obviously gone. Oh, sorry, I have just been attacked by people, I am very sensitive now. I hate people who are close to me. I am sorry for Obeda. You suddenly rushed over. I thought you were attacking me. Zhang Yuanyi, I did not deliberately shot the appearance of Opadiastam. It turned out to be the case, it doesn't matter, it's not your fault. It's all the fault of the terrorists. Opadiastam said. Yet. Zhang Yuan responded with a voice, and he made a careless look to Opadias. You are fine, don't look at it. It's okay, said Opadiastam. That's good, then it's okay. I will go to Tony's office first. I have something to take. Zhang Yuandao said that he missed Opadiastam and went to Tony Stark's office. Behind Jianjia Yuan's inability to see, Opada's face is quite ugly at this time. Anyone who suddenly hits a punch like this will definitely be quite angry. If it wasn't for the Stark building, he wouldn't mind teaching this kid. Chapter 24, Killer Attack. Boss, is that all right? With Zhang Yuan walking a certain distance, the black bodyguards who were ready to attack Zhang Yuan went to Opadiya, Stan's side, whispering to Opadiya. Stan asked. Besides, forget it, there is still a way. Opadiya glanced at the black bodyguard without a good breath. Would you like to wait for the next? The black bodyguard whispered openly, and when the words fell, he quietly reached out to Opadiya and made a gesture of a dagger. This. Opadiya's pupils shrank and followed the thoughts and turned quickly. Under normal circumstances, he absolutely does not want to kill Zhang Yuan in the M country, so it is easy to cause unnecessary trouble, but Zhang Yuan is not Tony Stark after all. Even Zhang Yuan has a 10% stake in Stark Industries, but the FBI does not protect the rivers like Tony Stark. So in fact, I want to kill Zhang Yuan, the opportunity is quite big. I didn't hear anything. After the thought turned, Opadiya's meaningful black bodyguard dropped a sentence, followed by finishing the clothes, leaving the place with the two black people around, leaving at that time. Opadiya's face was a little white, and Zhang Yuan's punch made him very uncomfortable. I really want to kill the guy at once, but here is the company, and I can't do it for the time being. After Zhang Yuan left the position of Opadiya and others, the dawn was obviously cold. After all, the guy in Opata is mastering a large stake in Stark Industries and is the second largest shareholder of Stark Industries except Tony Stark. Many high-level leaders in the country have paid attention to him. Therefore, this person is on the bright side. Zhang Yuan cannot kill him for no reason. Even if he knew that the last time he secretly dealt with Tony Stark and him was this. He is not strong enough to ignore the laws of the country. However, although he can't kill him at once, Zhang Yuan is not in a hurry. He is very clear that the ambition of this guy in Opata is quite big, and then he will start again if he has a chance. Although as far as the current situation is concerned, the chances that Opadiya wants to redo Tony Stark is small. But without a chance, Zhang Yuan does not mind creating opportunities. It is because of this that he just gave a sudden punch to Opata. He deliberately caused Opad's speculation and deliberately wanted to provoke Opadiya. Just as Opadiya feels that Zhang Yuan is not very important in the name of the top of the M countries, Zhang Yuan is also very clear that in the case that the ability does not show up, the high-level countries will not take him seriously. Under such circumstances, he beat Opadiya, and if he can provoke Opadiya to anger, Opadiya will inevitably get him. Of course, even if Opata does not shoot, Zhang Yuan will not lose. This is the case with the opponent, but the other party is not afraid to backhand, it is quite good. After the thought turned, Zhang Yuan soon came to the office where Tony Stark was. When he came here, he saw the little Pepper Paw sitting in the boss's chair in the office and dealing with some things. Hey! Seeing Zhang Yuan knocked on the door that had been pushed open to the side, and attracted the attention of the small Pepper Paws. Hey, Zhang Yuan, how come you came? Seeing Zhang Yuan, the small Pepper Paws was quite an accident. I am here to get one thing. Zhang Yuan Dao. What? Little Pepper Paws quickly stood up from the position, and then curiously asked Zhang Yuan, saying that he did not wait for Zhang Yuan to answer, but also to Zhang Yuan Dao, do you need something to drink? No, I will leave in a moment. The thing I want to take is this. Zhang Yuan waved his hand and followed a large object covered with cloth by his hand. Well? It's a mistake to remember that it was a three-dimensional model that Mr. Howard left for Tony. The little Pepper Paw snorted and followed the subconscious opening. Yes, that's it. Zhang Yuan Dao. How come you suddenly come to get this thing? I remember that you and Tony are not interested in this thing, or will not throw it here for so long. Little Pepper curious. Ha, this is a secret. Zhang Yuan squinted at the mysterious sigh of the little Pepper Paws. Okay. Little Pepper Paws smiled silently. Okay, don't bother Paws, you continue to work. I will take this thing back to the villa and see you at night. Zhang Yuan turned his head and followed him to the position where the black cloth was, and pulled down the black cloth. I saw that there is an urban model with a high height. Seeing Jiang Jiayuan's left hand holding one of the corners, the model was lifted with a slight force, and then waved to the small pepper paws, and took the model to the doorway, all the way, directly locked the stera outside the building. There is no desire to stay. After a while, I left the Stark building. Boss, I want to take a vacation, there are some things to do. That is, when Zhang Yuan left, one of the bodyguards around Opati Yastin suddenly said to Opati Yastin. Okay. Opata Stan has a long-awaited look at the black bodyguard and then gave a leave of absence. With this, Opad Destin, as he saw the black bodyguard left Opati Yastin, went outside the Stark building. In this regard, Zhang Yuan did not know. After holding the model under the Stark building, he placed the model in the back seat of the sports car, then drove off the Stark building and rushed back toward the villa. As Zhang Yuan left, the black bodyguards came outside the Stark building, then took a look at the direction of Jiang Jiayuan's departure, and then opened an inconspicuous car and left the Stark building. After leaving, he did not follow the direction of Zhang Yuan's departure, but proceeded in the opposite direction. After moving in a business district, the black man entered a large shopping mall and then did not come out. Chapter 25, Slap. Zhang Yuan all the way to drive, galloping, there is no slight stop on the way, and keep moving towards the seaside villa. Half an hour passed. At this time he was driving on a corner of a bay, preparing to make a quick turn. This bay corner is built on the back of the mountain. When he came here, the land of Jiangdi suddenly felt the danger, and his head slammed to the side. Hey! In the moment he was on the side, he saw that a bullet did not know where to shoot. If it wasn't for him to feel the danger, he would dodge the flash at the first time and the bullet would be headshot. Well? I have escaped the attack, how is this possible? Seeing that Zhang Yuan escaped the attack, a middle-aged man with a camouflage and surrounding grasses on his head frowned. If Opadstein is in this place at this time, then he will be able to find that this person is his black bodyguard. The black bodyguard who went to the big shopping mall and didn't come out. This blow is a slap in the face of a black bodyguard. He is very confident in his own shooting method. He thinks that 100% can make a headshot. Zhang Yuan suddenly escaped from the attack and made him quite surprised. Let him completely wonder if this is a coincidence or something else. However, he was only slightly strange, and then he fired again and again, and the bullets quickly locked Zhang Yuan again. Then he saw Zhang Yuan bent over and he once again escaped his attack. It's not an accident, this guy is weird. Seeing the situation, the black bodyguard was sinking, followed by a sudden sniper rifle, and then took out a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher from the side. That's right, it's a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher. The original black bodyguard was not prepared to use the rocket launcher because he felt that there was no need to deal with Zhang Yuan. The reason for preparing such a thing is just to prevent accidents. I didn't expect the accident to happen now. After the shoulder-mounted rocket launcher was taken out, he did not hesitate to lock Jiang Jiayuan's car, and then he saw the shells slamming out and attacked the sports car where Zhang Yuan was. Brush! Zhang Yuan suddenly fell from the driving position and landed in the back seat. Then he took the city model and jumped out of the car. Zhang Yuan's reaction was quite fast, and it was almost impossible for the black man to react. As Zhang Yuan jumped out of the car, he saw the car hit by a rocket, and violently exploded, and the fire was shining. In the midst of this raging fire, Zhang Yuan slammed the model toward the mountain next to it, and quickly climbed the hill, then temporarily placed the model in one of the places that was not easily attacked. After putting down the model, Zhang Yuan rushed to the position where the black bodyguard was at a faster speed. After 2 consecutive attacks, Zhang Yuan's use of spiders has already locked the specific position of the black man. When Zhang Yuan ran towards the black bodyguards would look quite ugly. Others don't understand Zhang Yuan. The black bodyguards believe that they still know Zhang Yuan better because he is the confidant of Opata, and he has dealt with Zhang Yuan. And in the words of his own boss, Zhang Yuan has always been a waste, garbage. Such a waste of garbage, now suddenly shows such ability. Black bodyguards can't help but have a feeling of being dreaming. Otherwise, how could you see something that is impossible in this scene? However, the things in front of him told him that this was not a dream, so he saw that Zhang Yuan was getting closer and closer to himself, and then took a shot at the position of Zhang Yuan with the rocket launcher. However, it still failed to hit Zhang Yuan, because Zhang Yuan's figure was just a flash, and he escaped the attack. Where is this guy coming so fast? Shit! The black bodyguard cursed, and refused to continue to use the shoulder type rocket launcher to attack, but took a pistol from his arms and pointed at Zhang Yuan. Shoot it up! Hey! A series of bullets attacked Jianzhai Yuan's position, but they did not hit Zhang Yuan. They were all escaping by Zhang Yuan. Just after this series of attacks escaped, Zhang Yuan came to the position of the black bodyguard. Is Opati letting you come? After Zhang Yuan came to the position of the black bodyguard, he did not attack immediately. Instead, he looked up and down the black bodyguard and said, although the black bodyguard was wearing a camouflage suit and his face was painted with camouflage. Knowing his original face, but Zhang Yuan was seeing the other person's first sight at this time, and he recognized that this person was the black that he saw in the Stark building and was next to Opata, one of the bodyguards. The black bodyguard listened to Zhang Yuan and did not answer. Seeing Zhang Yuan shrugged his shoulders and followed the figure, he approached the black bodyguard. The black bodyguard saw the shape, the left hand was pumping on the body, and a tactical dagger appeared in the hand and killed it to Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan's body side escaped the attack of the black bodyguard, followed by a hand knife to the black bodyguard, and the black man quickly evaded the Zhang Yuan attack. When he had just escaped Zhang Yuan's attack, Zhang Yuan followed him in a boxing on his abdomen. Puff! The black bodyguard's eyes suddenly widened, and then they flew out as if they were hit by the locomotive. The blood in the mouth was mad, and after falling on the ground, they couldn't climb up for a long time, and all the bones were broken. Although Zhang Yuan will not be a means of fighting before crossing, he is now quick to respond, quick and strong. Even if the fight is not strong, and with the advantage, you can still hang. With the black man being knocked down, Zhang Yuan went to the black man's side, then lifted the black man on the ground with his hand, and slapped it on the face of the black bodyguard, and stunned the other person to the hard life. Then Zhang Yuan took out his mobile phone and called Tony Stark. Chapter 26, Let him shut up forever. Zhang Yuan, what's the matter? Tony Stark asked the source after answering the phone. I was attacked by people, hurry and come. Zhang Yuan Dao. Hey, have you been attacked? You wait, I will come right away. Tony Stark was shocked, and then he did not wait for Zhang Yuan to tell him where he was. He just hung up the phone and immediately dressed the exoskeleton armor. The ground rushed out of the seaside villa. Jarvis positioned Jianzhai Yuan's mobile phone. After flying out of the villa, Tony Stark immediately ordered Jarvis. Yes, sir. Since the last incident in Zhang Yuan and the attack on terrorists in Afghanistan, Tony Stark has done some work on Zhang Yuan and his own mobile phone. Most need, whether he or Zhang Yuan, can quickly locate through Jarvis. With Jarvis positioning, Tony Stark quickly flew toward Zhang Yuan. Soon Tony Stark came to Zhang Yuan. When he came to Jianzhai Yuan's location and saw Zhang Yuan's foot on a faint camouflage man, Tony Stark looked at the ground eccentrically, followed by another look, then Zhang Yuan Dao, just a guy. Yes, he is one. Zhang Yuan Dao. Anyone who told me to do something, isn't it easy for you to fix it yourself? I thought that there is something to fight, and my exoskeleton armor is finally going to open up. Tony Stark is quite speechless. Said to Zhang Yuan. I don't want to find you, but I can't help. Who told this guy to smash my sports car with a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher? In order not to cause the FBI's idea, I naturally want to contact you for the first time, and if you don't come, how can I get the model back? Oh, the model is still on the ground there. Zhang Yuan shrugged. Okay. Tony Stark shook his head in silence, followed the model to the left hand, and then walked back to where Zhang Yuan was. Please, my job. Tony Stark is funny about Zhang Yuan Shen. Zhang Yuan's face turned black. But all of a sudden, the sad guy who was stunned on the ground, then handed it to Zhang Yuan. Then I saw Tony Stark and Zhang Yuan, both of them skyrocketing, and flew back to the Bay Villa. Although the arc reaction furnace used by Tony Stark is still palladium, there are still no problems with two people. After returning to the seaside villa, Tony Stark followed up and gave a call to the little Pepper to let her get to the scene. There was no hesitation in this little Pepper, and I quickly acted. What is this guy? After returning to his lab, Tony Stark opened the mask and asked Zhang Yuan curiously. He is one of the bodyguards around Obadi Yastin. Today I went to the company to see him. He came to attack me because it was the order of Opadi Yastin. Zhang Yuan Deo. It's Opad, how is Opada so crazy? After all, it's the territory of the country. How dare he do this to you and me? It's not. When you just went to the group, what did you do to make him angry? Let's do it. Tony Stark was a glimpse, followed by a suspicious look at Zhang Yuan Road. Ha, I just saw him unhappy, I gave him a punch, and he almost spit out his breakfast. Zhang Yuan Deo. You are really bad fun. Tony Stark was speechless. No way, who can not kill him now, or I really don't mind violently angering his head. Zhang Yuan Deo. So, you deliberately provoke him, let him do it to you, and then go through the vines and get his specific evidence of crime, so that he is expelled from the Stark group. In the past, Tony Stark would not think that my own brother will have any conspiracy, but now he has to think so. Yes, I don't want people like this to keep walking around me. I keep waiting, so the time bomb is still clear early. Zhang Yuan Deo. Well, man, it's my brother, you are doing pretty things very well. Since you have such a calculation, then when you solve Opadi, then his shares will be given to you. Tony History Tucker took a deep look at Zhang Yuan, and then said indifferently. Then I am disrespectful. This is the billion yuan knife and the unit's money, Zhang Yuan naturally will not push outside. Then Zhang Yuan and Tony Stark confessed to the black bodyguards, and the black bodyguards naturally did not say anything. However, he did not say that Zhang Yuan and Tony Stark were not discouraged. All kinds of torture are done. As a person who is deeply inspected, Zhang Yuan knows a lot of ways to torture people. Let a person fear, not death, but let the other person want to die cannot die. At the same time it is painful, not only pain, but itching. Itching is unbearable. Itchy itch. Zhang Yuan made a lot of wounds on this person, then got some sugar and found a lot of ants. It didn't take long for the black bodyguards to be in pain. In the blink of an eye, it is night. Boss, Jerry has an accident, and he can't contact him anyway. Another black man who was next to Opadi Yastin suddenly reported to Opadi. What? Obadi Yastin, the body suddenly trembled, followed by another black man. I am going to determine his specific location, but find out if it is in the hands of Zhang Yuan or Tony. If so, immediately let him shut up forever. Yes, boss. Another black bodyguard quickly responded, followed by quickly leaving Opadastan. When the man left, Opadastan was heavily boxing on the table, his eyes filled with killings. These things are too unexpected for him to be unacceptable, and there is still some anxiety in the feint. He is not sure if Jerry really falls into the hands of Stark and others, will he be interrogated about him? Disadvantageous things. Although he is sure that Jerry will never talk about anything as smart, the world has always been full of surprises. Chapter 27, Upgraded version of Iron Man and number 039, S. Battlegear. This guy's bones are quite hard. They have already suffered a lot of pain. The spirit is almost in a state of collapse, and they can still persist. Inside the glass cabin where the laboratory is located, the black bodyguards that Zhang Yuan has caught are being locked inside. The whole body is covered with a large number of ants, the face is twisted, the struggle is constantly twitching. Through what he said, he didn't say that he didn't have much influence on us. Zhang Yuan said while holding an apple and talking to Tony Stark around him. As he said, he looked at Tony Stark, who was calculating some formula too. You still have to finish your formula early. Reassured, I'll be fine right away, although I don't know Howard's old mix. How does the egg study new elements, but it's just a matter of extracting new elements from his model. That's a small problem. Tony Stark. Since it is a small problem, then you have been getting it for a day. Zhang Yuandao. Is this not delayed when I interrogate this person during the day? In addition, I also studied the portable way of the exoskeleton armor. Although the neuron is a portable exoskeleton armor, I only have some clues. It will take some time to get it out, but I thought of a box-like portable exoskeleton armor. Although it is still more than a neuron summoning method, it is better to wear it than to wear it. Too much. Tony Stark said. That line, get out early, people who are attacking without problems will come. Zhang Yuandao. You really know the guy in Obadi Yastin. After this person is missing for a long time, he will send someone to our villa to investigate? Even directly grab someone. Tony Stark looked suspiciously at Zhang Yuan. This is not obvious. You and Opadi Yastin are not dealing with the first day. He has not dealt with some of the business methods. With the pungent nature of the Opad Destinian guy, he is absolutely not allowed to make a little mistake, so he will definitely let people check if this person has been caught by us. Once this is determined, the percentage hundreds of people will let the people under their hands to kill. How can it not be this time? You still think he will be like this? Zhang Yuandao. This is not the case, I am only very emotional. After all, he is actually very rich and very powerful. This is the thing of Stark Industries. Most of the time, I have not managed anything, even though the entire group I occupy shares. But in addition to selling weapons to terrorists, I have not compromised him. Other things I have been quite acquainted with him most of the time. Tony Stark shook his head. Cut, that's just that you think it's a tacit understanding. Well, let's continue to study your company. Zhang Yuan snorted. No, it has been successful. Tony Stark's eyes suddenly flashed, followed by a table that he saw in front of him quickly, and soon made a strange circuit, followed by a series of under the current. He used a launcher to create a new element. And it was also made into the arc reactor in the first time. When the arc reaction furnace was built, Tony Stark did not test how powerful the energy inside, and directly ordered Jarvis to quickly assemble an exoskeleton armor part next to him. In less than a moment, his body covered a set of handsome red and gold steel armor. After the successful assembly of the steel armor, he placed the arc reaction furnace with the new element synthesis on the energy source, and then he saw his armor violently illuminate. Wow, good strength, this feeling, handsome. Tony Stark quickly looked at the vast amount of data on the exoskeleton armor that appeared on his mask. The new element made the arc reactor more than 10 times stronger than the beginning. Zhang Yuan, I will go out and experience the power of new energy first. Under the excitement of Tony Stark, he dropped a sentence on Zhang Yuan, and then suddenly rushed from the laboratory and saw a certain ceiling in the laboratory. The position was directly converted into a flight path by Tony Stark. When he wanted to fly, he would flip over for the first time under the control of Jarvis. This flight speed is indeed much stronger than the previous generation, although it still can't be compared with the final version, but it is not bad. Then look at Tony's portable simplification. As long as he overcomes the problem of neurons, then you can easily control the exoskeleton armor in the future. But even now, with this new energy, Jarvis can control it to a certain extent when it is needed. It is a pity that Jarvis is not strong enough. Otherwise, if he is strong enough to be like Aussie, then there will be no drawbacks that have been taken to gain control. Such armor manipulation is the perfect state. Zhang Yuan looked at the disappearance of Tony Stark, and this heart could not help but have some fire. Such a thing can only be seen in the movie before, but now he can immediately let Tony get it out for him, and it is still a lifetime warranty, package upgrade version. Who makes Tony Stark his cheap old man? I think it's quite a feeling. Chapter 28, has a set of Iron Man armor. After 10 minutes, Tony Stark returned to the lab again. Shuang, it's so cool, it's cool. Compared with the palladium arc reaction furnace at the beginning, these new elements of the arc reaction furnace are really too strong. I don't know Howard's old mix. Eggs, how did you get out of this new element? It was so advanced. Tony Stark returned to the lab and said to Zhang Yuan's excited opening. Do you want to make me jealous? Hurry and give me one. Zhang Yuan did not breathe a sigh of Tony Stark. Hey, is this your attitude towards asking people? Tony Stark looked at Zhang Yuan with a smile. Don't be careful, I am jealous of you. Zhang Yuan waved his hand to Tony Stark. Yes? Zhang Yuan, now you want to win again, but it is very difficult, especially if you have no épée in your hand. Tony Stark smiled and looked at Zhang Yuan, followed by a sudden movement. Suddenly, he was close to Zhang Yuan. At the same time, he slammed into Zhang Yuan with a punch. Zhang Yuan's glimpse of the light, relying on the powerful spider perception ability, the risky and dangerous Tony Stark attacked to escape. As soon as he escaped the attack, he saw 4 guns suddenly appearing on the shoulders of Tony Stark's steel's armor. Then a large number of bullets attacked Zhang Yuan. These bullets attacked like a drill, directly locked in the area where Zhang Yuan evaded the flash, so that Zhang Yuan had to twist the body in a limit, and once again, the bullets were safely escaped. However, this is only the beginning. At this time, Tony Stark is obviously preparing to take advantage of Zhang Yuan's lack of weapons in his hands. A large number of bullets, energy, and non-stop attacks, as if completely do not want money, Zhang Yuan to suppress the death, let Zhang Yuan have a variety of extreme sports. Sure enough, as I have calculated, Zhang Yuan's mutated body's ability to respond is really amazing. I have tried my best to calculate his trajectory, and I have written it specifically into the attack algorithm of the program. Still can't take him all at once. Seeing that Zhang Yuan had repeatedly evaded his own attack, Tony Stark smiled at the corner of his mouth. For the strength of this younger brother, Tony Stark has some embarrassment, but more is still gratified. After all, he now has a strong fighting power. Although these forces come from high-tech armed forces, they are not his own skills. This armor is not something that ordinary people can make. After suppressing Zhang Yuan for a while, Tony Stark stopped. Upon seeing it, Zhang Yuan is also trying to avoid the dodge. For Tony Stark's abrupt attack, he is not angry at all. Because this can be practiced suddenly to deal with dangerous reactions. Your armor waits a little, wait for me to write out the portable formula and say, give me 5 minutes, just right. Tony Stark smiled at Zhang Yuan and followed without unraveling his own steel. The armor, but the quick command of Jarvis to deduct a series of formulas. As with the extraction of new elements, the production of Tony Stark is the final step in the simplification of the portable. Then there was not much time and a lot of points with Tony Stark. It was said that it was 5 minutes, and Tony Stark completed the simplification of the portable Iron Man's armor in 5 minutes. Then, let Jarvis control the processing equipment of the laboratory and create a new Iron Man armor. Then half an hour later, Tony Stark handed a seemingly ordinary alley to Zhang Yuan. When he handed the box to Zhang Yuan, he also got a box out. How is this thing? Zhang Yuan asked curiously. Put it on the front of the box and press it, Tony Stark said. Listening to this, Zhang Yuan immediately put the alley right, and then pressed the front of the box, and then saw the box is suddenly like a deformation robot, changed. There was a position for the hand to reach. Zhang Yuan did not hesitate to put his hand in, and then saw a mechanical sound. Successfully identified DNA, in line with the user's identity. With such a sound, then I saw the place where the box was inserted into the box, and the change occurred again. Jianzhai Yuan's hand was covered with a lot of metal objects, and it spread from the arm position to the whole body. For a while, it will be turned into a armor, and Zhang Yuan will be completely wrapped. When he was wrapped, a mechanical sound rang in Jianzhai Yuan's ears. Master Zhang Yuan, Jarvis serves for you. Chapter 29, Late Night Shelling. Hey, Tony, did you even get the DNA recognition in this portable armor? Hearing a series of mechanical sounds, Zhang Yuan subconsciously looked at Tony Stark to the side, very strangely asked. Of course, don't identify, if you are stolen, what to do? Tony Stark said. Then how did you get a piece of James Rhodey in the story, isn't it just a password? Zhang Yuan secretly snarled, but did not say so directly to Tony Stark. What is the situation with him? Now that the exoskeleton armor is at hand, it is natural to first toss it. Although Zhang Yuan has a gene extraction of 9527, there is no need for a portable armor, but he can't fly anything after all, and such a thing is also a good means of transportation, just like a sports car. In addition, you can fight. In the case of encountering some sudden situations, or in the case of some of your own physical conditions, such things are absolutely useful. Just as it was recently attacked by a black bodyguard, if there was an exoskeleton armor, Zhang Yuan could fly back in black with his bodyguards, and he needed to specifically inform Tony Stark. Then, Zhang Yuan began to toss the external bone warfare. When Zhang Yuan first tried to control, first of all, he moved his body, clenched his hands into fists, loosened something and walked away. After he had some understanding of the body, he followed the rocket that opened the exoskeleton armor. The injection system allows him to move his body off the ground. At the time of this step, Tony Stark at the side looked at this scene with a sly look at it, apparently a look of Zhang Yuan's joke. The first time you control the exoskeleton armor, this kind of thing is not controlled by manipulation. As for Tony Stark, this habit of crazy driving, all kinds of guns and people, mechanical masters, he just started to control this thing, have some problems, all kinds of falls. He believes that Zhang Yuan will certainly have a sad reminder. However, as Tony Stark thought, Zhang Yuan was in control of the flight. Because of the initial control, he couldn't completely control such things. After flying, he just tried to move to the side. Suddenly, a center of gravity fell to the ground. When he saw Zhang Yuan, Tony Stark immediately laughed. At the same time he laughed, he also ordered Jarvis to prepare to film the scene of Jianzhai Yuan's ugliness. However, when the Tony tank thought that Zhang Yuan was going to be sad, he saw Jianzhai Yuan's super strong reaction. When he fell to the ground, he turned his body and twisted his waist. It's actually a reversal of this tendency to fall. It doesn't look like it's not awkward, it's still very cool. Tony Stark. Well, he is a deeper understanding of Jianzhai Yuan's reaction. Then, Zhang Yuan tried again and again, and there were several signs of falling, but they were all beautiful twists. In his attempt, in just 7 or 8 minutes of trials, Zhang Yuan made the flight control of the exoskeleton armor a model, and Tony Stark was awkward. Although he is flying well now, but it has reached the level of Zhang Yuan, it took several times to spend time. Tony Stark and the seaside villa where Zhang Yuan lived. When the two men tossed the exoskeleton armor in the laboratory, a group of uninvited guests came out of the beach villa. These people came to the night with their black night clothes. They have headgear on each other's heads, so people can't see their faces at all. When they arrived at the villa where Tony Stark was located, someone gestured and then saw one of them took out an electromagnetic interference device and opened the device. After the equipment was opened, one of the black men slammed a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher and fired a shot at the villa. Although Tony Stark's villa door was bulletproof, and Jarvis was responsible for security, but under the attack of the rocket, it was also blown up. Almost at the first time when the door was blown up, Jarvis started the villa alarm and informed Tony Stark. In fact, I don't need Jarvis' notice, such a fierce roar, and shocks, it is the first time to alarm Tony Stark and Jong Eun. The guys are really coming, and they are so crazy when they come up, directly shelling. Tony Stark blackened his face and followed suit. Although this situation makes Tony Stark very angry, but his exoskeleton armor has not been opened, there are terrorists coming, just to test the power of the exoskeleton armor. Chapter 30, The Gambling Battle with Iron Man. When the villa was smashed by the rocket of the shoulder-mounted rocket launcher, he saw 4 black people rushing to the broken door and taking it. When they rushed in, they held each other's hands. The AK-47 comes standard with a standard terrorist dress. After entering the room, they quickly searched. At the same time, outside the villa, there were quite a few black people trying to enter from other places. What kind of flying tiger claws enter from the balcony of the villa, or some open windows, is the invasion of the orientation. The purpose of their coming here is very simple, not to kill Tony Stark, just to see if there is any black bodyguard that Jong Eun has caught. If it is, immediately kill and kill. If not, then the lesson of Tony Stark, search for some of the technical information in the room and leave. As for killing Tony Stark in Country M, these things are too big. Today, Opeta is not prepared to do that. He can't afford to pay for Tony Stark after killing in M a series of surveys. So he just let the people outside of Tony Stark do it. If it weren't for the black bodyguard that was too important to know too much, and that Opeta Stan is definitely not rash, it will make people come to Tony Stark's villa. This can definitely be considered a risky act. However, as long as Tony Stark is not dead, even if there is an investigation in the country of M, there will be no large-scale investigation, and he can still cope with it. The actions of the black people are quite violent. He doesn't care what Jarvis's smart portal controls. But any portal that requires permission is directly violently destroyed. From the first floor, I searched for the second floor. The laboratory in which Jong Eun and others are located is strictly underground, but the way of access to this laboratory is somewhat different. It can't be entered from the first floor of the villa. Only on the second floor of the villa, and then from one of the specially opened gateway channels, can go down to the underground laboratory. How about Jong Eun? Do you want more people than those who catch it, or more people who knock down? Tony Stark equipped the exoskeleton armor and followed Jong Eun. Beyond, who is afraid of who? Jong Eun Deo. Hey buddy, since it is a test, how can there be no color? Whoever loses, then wash the socks for the other side for a month. Tony Stark smiled, a win-win, very confident look. I seriously doubt Tony, can you wash your socks? Jong Eun Deo. Say it seems like you will win. Tony Stark said. That is of course. Jong Eun Deo. That may not be. Tony Stark snorted, followed by a sudden movement, suddenly rushing into the sky, directly using the passage of the basement, flew out to the outside, the target pointed to the gate area of the villa. Seeing Tony Stark screaming and not flying, Jong Eun was not angry. Instead, he looked at the stairs not far away, and then rushed up the stairs with the exoskeleton armor. Jarvis, start the heat scan, find the surrounding terrorists. After Jong Eun rushed to the second floor, the external skeleton warfare can only order the program. Yes, the young master of Jong Eun. The intelligent program quickly responded, followed by a thermal scan for Jong Eun. After the thermal scan was turned on, Jong Eun quickly found the location of the terrorists. After finding it, it was the first time to attack the terrorists. In less than a moment, it appeared in front of 4 terrorists. When he appeared, the 4 terrorists were shocked. They have never seen iron armor in the past. Jong Eun suddenly appeared in the armor, which made them very surprised. However, they were just amazed. They followed the four people and attacked Zhang Yuan at the same time. A large number of bullets spread their brains toward Zhang Yuan. Seeing Zhang Yuan is dodging, there is no dodge, directly slamming bullets, rushing toward the four terrorists, and when they rushed on, the left hand slammed into one of the terrorists and hit the other party. The abdomen will blow the opponent back. Puff! The black man slammed into the wall, and the blood in his mouth squirted, then fell to the ground. Life and death, the body did not move at all, and even the breathing seemed to be gone. Shit, what a ghost thing! How fast is it? Just shoot, continue to shoot, penetrate him. The remaining three black people were scared by the scene, and then they continued to shoot. This time Zhang Yuan did not choose hard resistance, but when the attack came, the figure flashed and made one after another. Out of the evasive, the bullets were all escaped, while hiding from the bullets, his body shape also rushed to the remaining three. The body speed is quite fast. The response speed of Zhang Yuan itself is very fast. This will be promoted by the exoskeleton armor. The speed of Zhang Yuan has been improved by several times. Chapter 31, Ape strangled, 1 sword and 2 broken. Although in terms of firearms and weapon control, Zhang Yuan is simply not comparable to Tony Stark, but in terms of reaction speed and body speed, Zhang Yuan is definitely better than Tony Stark. When Zhang Yuan rushed to the remaining 3 terrorists, although Zhang Yuan had some control over the portable armor, it was only a few minutes after he had just gotten his hand. He lived and slammed directly into one of the terrorists. Hey! The roar of the roar, the terrorist who was hit was flying straight out. When the terrorists flew out, it was a head, a tinnitus, and it was quite uncomfortable. The ribs felt that they had been broken. What the monster is this? Now no doubt at all, there is such a thing in Tony Stark's villa. It is not a surprise to catch Jerry's guy. The remaining 2 terrorists looked at each other with their pupils shrinking, and both legs subconsciously trembled. In his eyes, the steel monster in front of him, the firearms attack does not wear, not fast, but also very fast, which makes them how to fight. Withdraw, retreat. Under the taboo, one of the black people suddenly said, saying that he immediately turned and ran. Another one saw it and ran quickly. When he ran, this person ignored the black clothes that Zhang Yuan had hit. People's life and death, but also pulled out a grenade, and threw it to Zhang Yuan. When the grenade was thrown, he did not wait for the thunder to explode, and he suddenly fell to the ground. Next second, a loud bang, the grenade exploded. Did it go? Hearing the grenade explosion, the black-haired man who fell to the ground turned his head to look at the explosion position. However, when he looked at it, he did not see Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan disappeared. Is it directly blown into powder? No, the steel monster can withstand the bullets, even if the grenade has an effect on him, because it can't be fried into powder at once. The black man was subconsciously embarrassed. Are you looking for me? Suddenly a voice of indifference sounded beside him. When I heard this voice, the black man's face changed greatly, and he quickly wanted to roll over to the side, but when he was about to roll, he saw Zhang Yuan's foot toward him. He stepped on. Hey! The crisp bones shattered and sounded. Zhang Yuan stepped on the black man's body and directly broke the black man's horns. He even smashed the other's heart. After smashing the black hunter of the black man, Zhang Yuan followed and frowned at the corridor in the far corner. When he attacked the black man, another black man had already run the man's delay. Lost. Just a little frowning, Zhang Yuan followed up quickly. These people are all bioenergy that are delivered to the door. For those who are ready to send their doors to brush their experience, Zhang Yuan is not prepared to let go. Although he has had 2,800 bio uses before today, it is still not enough. With the requirement of randomly extracting the capacity of other biological genes per 1,000 bioenergy, More than 2,800, it can only be extracted twice. More than 2,800, he had the last one of the remaining 1,700 bioenergy. When he was attacked, he was badly shot, but he also killed 2 and raised 200 bioenergy for him. Followed him to throw the grenade on the hill, and killed 9 people, harvesting 900 energy, a total of 2,800. When Zhang Yuan followed, the man saw such a situation and suddenly threw a bomb at Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan subconsciously retreats. When he retreats, his eyes are suddenly flashed. Flash bomb! It turned out that this black man lost not the ordinary high-explosive grenade, but the flash bomb, so that Zhang Yuan, who was unable to guard against it, was flashed his eyes. When his eyes were flashed, the black man followed him. The grenade was lost again to Zhang Yuan. Although Zhang Yuan couldn't see it, according to the spider's induction, it was found that something was lost to himself. It was very dangerous. So there was no hesitation. The retreat of the exoskeleton armor was turned on, and it flashed toward the back and flashed back. Zhang Yuan ordered Jarvis to say, Jarvis opened the intelligent assistant and killed the black man. Yes, the young master of Zhang Yuan. Jarvis responded, and then he saw a barrel on his shoulder, and 3 bullets attacked the black man. Hey! The black man's eyes widened and fell to the ground, and when he fell to the ground, his eyebrows, heart and throat were hit by bullets. As the person died, Zhang Yuan suddenly felt that it was dangerous, slightly slowed down, his vision returned to normal, and then he saw the black man who had died on the ground. With equipment and no equipment, it really is 2 concepts. If there is no exoskeleton armor, I will not be injured this time, killing what is, but at most it is just dodging, but not the first time. Counterattack, so that this person ran away when I was blind, can be equipped with hands, using Jarvis's only assistance, but it is the possibility of this person completely lost. Zhang Yuan looked at the ground with emotion the body, then went to the gym. He is going to take the AP in the gym. Compared with the hot weapon attack, Zhang Yuan prefers this cold weapon attack. Soon he came to the gym and then stepped into the gym to get the AP from inside. After getting the AP, Zhang Yuan quickly searched for some terrorists who invaded the villa. Using Jarvis's scan, I quickly locked one again. After locking this person, the other party was a series of attacks attacking Zhang Yuan. Jianjia Yuan's body slightly escaped from the attack, and then ran up and then smashed the giant sword in his hand. Tier and tier, the other party will be smashed into 2 halves. The scene is quite bloody, so that Zhang Yuan, who created this scene, almost could not help but spit. After a slight glance, I followed the other terrorists again. Once met, it is often a sword. Monsters, monsters! Help, save me! In the case of Zhang Yuan's attack, the terrors and screams of the terrorists soon rang, and some terrorists invading the villas, after fighting with Zhang Yuan, saw Zhang Yuan's fighting power, and bloody killing, hey, they all fled to the outside of the villa. Chapter 32, Send to the door. Hey, what's the situation? Outside the villa, some of the black man's Tony Stark was picked up. Suddenly, I saw some black people running from the villa. These black people are very frightened expressions, and they can't wait for their own embarrassment. Mom gave herself 2 legs and made him feel a little worried. Although he was wearing an exoskeleton armor, he was shocked by the terrorists who played against him, but he was not so terrified. However, although Tony Stark was curious, when he saw someone running out, he immediately went and immediately screamed at these people. He did not kill these people. Anyone who is attacked by him is basically just being knocked down, alive and hurting their legs and hands, letting them temporarily lose their ability to move, or attack their ability. After 10 minutes, the battle is over. Although Zhang Yuan shot hot, Tony Stark is also a variety of interceptors of black, but there are still black people fleeing the location of the villa. For those who fled, neither Tony Stark nor Zhang Yuan did not pursue it. Zhang Yuan, what are you doing? How do you make it? vomit, so bloody. Tony Stark said to Jong Yuan quite silently, but when he saw the bodies of black people who were dismembered, the complexion is not vain. The body was broken into 2 pieces, and the intestines and internal organs fell to the ground. This kind of scene is really not something that ordinary people can bear. Today the villa is almost like Shura hell. Theft was confiscated. Jong Yuan Deo. You can still call it for a while. Tony Stark couldn't help but glance at Jong Yuan. No lie to you. Jong Yuan Deo. Cut, you will fool. Tony Stark rolled his eyes and followed the call quickly, making people feel good. What do you say? There is a steel man in the villa of Tony Stark. Can you let the elite warriors with more than 20 handheld weapons contend? Among the villas where Opati Yostin lived, at this time Opata is looking at the white man in front of him with his eyes wide open and bloody. Yes, boss. The black man replied bitterly. How is it possible to get rid of your story and make it a little better? Obadistam glanced at the black man. Boss, what I said is true. I have video footage of the filming here. The black man swears in the sky, saying that he pulled out a U-disc and handed it to Opata. When Obadistan saw it, he immediately inserted the U-disc into a laptop on the coffee table and entered it, followed by the video in the U-disc. While playing, he played it while picking up a glass of red wine and sipping it. Next second. Puff. Opata suddenly sprayed the wine out of his mouth, his eyes wide open, staring at the picture played in the laptop. In the picture, Jong Yuan waved a giant sword to give some black people a waist, or a picture that was split in half. This, you are a Tony, I thought I already know you very well. I didn't expect you to have such a card. Exoskeleton armor. This is clearly the major countries, organizations, privately researching some exoskeleton armor. As far as I know, although other countries also have exoskeleton armor, most of them are very disabled. The mobility is not very strong. It is obvious in front of us. The lethality is obviously amazing. Both maneuverability and attack power are quite strong. Opati Yostin whispered, and the expression on his face became a little distorted. As the second largest shareholder of the Stark Group, he did not know that Tony Stark had created such a thing. This is not a general concealment. I always thought that Tony Stark was stupid, but I didn't think that he had been guarding me all the time. Opati Yostin's eyes were cold, and he followed the black man on the side. Ready, I am going a trip to Tony Stark's home. Ah, boss, this is not good, the black man exclaimed. There is nothing wrong with him. He doesn't know that the person who sent you is me. Such an exoskeleton armor, I must get it. If I get such a thing, I will be able to sell arms more on a larger scale in the future. Badiostan is cold. Yes, this is always too dangerous. Black man. Don't tell me anything nonsense, just arrange it. Opata is unwilling to speak coldly. Upon seeing it, the black man did not dare to have any scorn, and quickly arranged. Chapter 33, Extract the Genes of the Eel? Under the arrangement of the black man, more than an hour later, Opati Yostin came to the seaside villa where Tony Stark and Jong Yuan lived. When he came here, although this place had been treated to some extent, it was obvious that some bullets had been fired and the grenade had exploded. Slightly looked at the outside of the villa, followed by Opati Yostin to the door of the villa, and then rang the bell door of the newly installed villa door. As he did, he followed a mechanical voice and rang from the gate. Good evening, Mr. Obadiah. Jarvis mechanically greeted Opati Yostin. Hello Jarvis, Tony is at home, I have something to find him. Opati Yostin responded with a smile. Mr. Tony is at home, but Mr. Tony has told him to refuse visitors. Jarvis said. But I am in a hurry, let's talk to Tony. Obadiah said. Okay, please wait a moment. Jarvis said. When he said this to Obadiah Yostin, Jarvis was also in contact with Jong Yuan and Tony Stark, who are continuing to toss the armor in the laboratory. Mr. Tony, Mr. Obadi Yastin suddenly made a crime and said that he was in a hurry to find you. Do you need him to come in? Jarvis said. Obadi Yastin? What did he come here? See if I am dead? Or? Tony Stark glanced. Of course, it's for the exoskeleton armor. Needless to say, with some people escaping back and then talking about our affairs, Opadiya is interested in the external bone warfare. This person is not. I can't afford to be early. Zhang Yuan snorted. Then you said we need to see him. Tony Stark said. Of course, it is gone. He thinks who he is. Because of the game rules of the game, I will not go out to kill him. It is already very good. Zhang Yuandao. Before there is no definitive evidence, it is best not to kill him. It is no problem to kill some small people, but after all, Opada is the second largest shareholder of the Stark Group. If we rush to kill him, once it is the FBI's people found out that although I would not let me wait for Opadi Yastin's death, I would certainly say the impeachment, trial and even the post-mortem shares of Obada, it is possible for those people to take the opportunity to plunder. Therefore, if you want to grab a lot of his shares, it is best not to kill him easily. Tony Stark. Reassured, I just talked about it. Zhang Yuandao. You continue to slowly get the exoskeleton armor, I go to the gym sports. After Zhang Yuan dropped a sentence, he went to the gym. At the time of Zhang Yuan, Tony Stark thought about it and did not let Opadi Yastin enter the villa. Instead, Jean Jarvis refused the entry of Obadi Yastin. After the door of Opadi Yastin got a reply, he smiled and said to Jarvis. Tell Tony, I really have something to look for. Since he is controlling him today, let him be free and knock on me. A phone call. After talking about Opada, he turned away and left, and he was not angry. However, it seems that he is not angry. In fact, he was quite angry. When he turned around, in the place that Jarvis's camera could not capture, Opada's face was quite ugly and obviously angry. I really thought that no one else can create an exoskeleton armor. Since there is a video of your battle, then I can let the team under the team and follow it. Opadi Yastin secretly chills, he comes to the villa, the purpose is mainly to see if you can find any design drawings from Tony Stark's villa. If it is natural to plagiarize it for the first time. He is very clear, Tony Stark, a guy who makes weapons at home, when he is experimenting, often puts drawings and whatever, casually, regardless of whether he will be seen by others. He used to be in Tony Stark. In the home, I have seen many times the weapons involved in the drawings. In the gym, Zhang Yuan wore a heavy armor and picked up the AP. While exercising, he also counted the bioenergy that he got. He killed a total of 14 people. Get 1400 bioenergy. Plus the previous 2008 points, that is 4200 points, enough for him to randomly draw 4 times. 957, I extracted the genes of other organisms, can I extract the flight ability? Zhang Yuandao. Yes. 95 and 27. What are some special abilities? For example, electric shovel discharge capacity, can I extract? Zhang Yuan eyes a glimpse. It is okay. Continued on September 25. So, it seems that the discharge capacity of this e-mule is worth considering. Zhang Yuan's dawn is slightly moving. Chapter 34, Electroacupuncture Gene Extraction. The next day. The news that the villas in Tony Stark and Zhang Yuan were attacked by terrorists were not broadcast by any news media. Because the seaside villas where Tony Stark and Zhang Yuan lived were quite good, but the entire bay was basically only such a villa, because the entire bay was contracted by Tony Stark. Just like the situation in a domestic love movie. This fish pond was contracted by me. If Zhang Yuan is now on the sister paper, he can also say that this bay has been contracted by me, and it is one of my family's industries. Tony Stark contracted the bay, and naturally it was no different from Zhang Yuan contracting. Because it is relatively secluded, and the terrorists are prepared, and Zhang Yuan does not deal with the news media, these things are naturally concealed. This will be Zhang Yuan in his own room. When he was here, he had a fish tank in front of him. This is his early morning, let the little pepper pass by for him. The fish tank is not the focus, the main focus is a fish inside the fish tank. This is an e-donkey. This will be locked in a special fish tank, slowly moving in the aquarium. During the swimming process, from time to time can see it suddenly flashing. At this time, Zhang Yuan took a leather glove with his left hand. He looked at the electric squat slightly, followed by the left hand and entered the aquarium. He grabbed the e-donkey. When he caught the e-donkey violently struggled and the powerful current radiated. This current is quite strong. If there is no protection, normal human beings are charged, and fainting is quite normal. Because it instantaneously discharges to about 700 V. According to Zhang Yuan, electric rafts are slow-moving, inhabiting slow-flowing freshwater bodies. They occasionally float on the surface, swallow air, breathe, body length, cylindrical shape, scaleless, taupe, and long reach. 2.5 meters. Freshwater fish weighing up to 20 kilograms, its dorsal fins and caudal fins are degraded, but the tail is nearly 4/5 of the length of the body, and its lower edge has a long fin, which swims by the flip of the fin. With generator, derived from muscle tissue, and controlled by spinal nerves, can easily generate voltages up to 650 volts, smooth and scaleless, black on the back, orange in the abdomen, no dorsal and pelvic fins, and fins are particularly long. The swimming organ has two pairs of long spindle generators located on either side of the tail spinal cord. The muscles on both sides of the tail of the electric scorpion are composed of regularly arranged 6,000 to 10,000 muscle slices. The slices are separated by connective tissue, and many nerves pass through the central nervous system. Each muscle slice is like a small battery. It can only produce 150 millivolts, but nearly 10,000 small batteries are connected in series to generate a very high voltage. For Zhang Yuan, the most useful gene for e-donkey is naturally the ability to generate electricity and discharge. Speaking of e-donkey, the most famous person in the world of Marvel movies is the electro-optical person. It is also called the Electric King. In the Marvel movie Amazing Spider-Man, Max and Vidilin dropped a large number of electric squid tanks during a wiring, and then activated special abilities to absorb electric energy and emit super high voltage electricity. Of course, this is just a Marvel movie, an electro-optical person. In the comics, the predecessor of the electro-optical person was a self-satisfied wire worker who was hit by a sudden drop of lightning during a high-altitude operation. I didn't expect Max to lose his life, instead with the superpower to control the current, Max, who is physically mutated, can't be engaged in the work of normal people because of the whole body. It is also alienated by others. This makes the nature of the non-good kind of Max anger, since it was as a monster, he decided to simply become a real monster, start his revenge, and fight with Spider-Man. Of course, whether it is the electro-optical person in the Marvel movie or the comic book, the electro-optical person has no doubt except the brain, and his ability is unquestionable. As far as official data is concerned, the body stores 10 million Fords electricity. Once it breaks out, the power is quite amazing. Even Peter Park, the Spider-Man, was almost electrocuted. At this time, Zhang Yuan did not ask himself to have 10 million volts of electricity at once. After all, if it was as sad as the electro-optical people, it would be too speechless to live the life of ordinary people. As long as it has the same power generation and discharge capability as the e-donkey, it will naturally increase the combat effectiveness. In the midst of the battle, suddenly discharged, as long as the opponent has anything to numb, it is often quite fatal. 957, consumes 1000 bioenergy, and randomly extracts the emu gene. Zhang Yuan thought quickly turned around, and then slammed the command to 9527. Yes, the host. It costs 1000 bioenergy and starts to randomly extract the E-Donkey gene. Chapter 35, Successful Extraction of the 4 Major Genes. Randomly extracted to the underwater survival gene, is it fusion? Under a series of prompts, suddenly said to Zhang Yuan in September 5 to 27. Hey, you said something, what is the underwater survival gene? Zhang Yuan felt that he was a little stupid. It is swimming, and a certain degree of diving ability, allowing the host to survive underwater like an electric raft. Zhang Yuan, this ability, Zhang Yuan did not know what to say rubbish, whether he did not cross before, or after crossing, currently cannot swim, but you have to say it is good. Well, this gene feels like a chicken rib, which is not generally worse than the discharge and storage capacity he wants. Convergence. However, although the chicken ribs, but the good is extracted, the bioenergy is spent, it is not a waste to not merge. Accompanied by Zhang Yuan's command, he joined the unique source with Zhang Yuan's body, and Zhang Yuan discovered that he had more ability. Swim. Although this has not been tried yet, Zhang Yuan clearly perceives that as long as he thinks, he can survive under the water, even if he encounters any huge waves, he would like to kill him in the water. It looks like it is also good. Continue to spend 1000 creatures for random extraction. After the integration of underwater survival, Zhang Yuan followed the command of 9257. Take another 1000 bioenergy and randomly extract the emu gene. Random extraction of the electric discharge gene, whether or not to fuse. The reminder of the 957 syllabus once again sounded in Zhang Yuan's mind. When the prompt sound fell, Zhang Yuan's face was a flash of color. The horse immediately fuses the discharge gene. Zhang Yuan Dao. Then a strange force was once again integrated into Jianzhai Yuan's body, so that Zhang Yuan clearly discovered that his body has changed. The muscles of his body have been transformed to a certain extent. There is a faint current in the flow, let his muscles become electric muscles. As long as he wants to use the electric muscle to discharge. With such perception, Zhang Yuan subconsciously took out and tried to discharge. As he did, he suddenly saw that his left hand had a current flowing, but the current was not strong. Seeing Zhang Yuan's brow wrinkled, he looked at the power socket not far from the subconscious. It is obvious that the current that he is releasing is not strong because the current in the body is too small. If you absorb some electricity into the body, then naturally it can send a strong current. Friendly reminder, although the host has the ability to discharge, but it does not have the ability to store electricity, rushing to contact the host to discharge other currents, it is likely to coma, or death. The host wants to absorb other currents, only continue to extract the E-Donkey gene. Suddenly, 9557. Well, continue to give me random extraction. Zhang Yuan silently ordered the 9257. Filling 1000 creatures again for random extraction. Random extraction is in progress. Is the high-pressure pulse gene extracted? Is the donor fused? Friendly suggestion, the high-voltage pulse gene is different from the single discharge gene, and the high-voltage pulse gene is an advanced version of the discharge gene, which allows the host to release high-voltage pulse current, making the current attack more powerful, and high-voltage pulses include not only attacks, but also the location of other objects that are attacked by high-voltage pulses, as well as the ability to track targets, said Zhang Yuan in September 527. Immediately merge. Zhang Yuan did not succumb to the sputum, and immediately continued to merge, and then he discovered that his body was further strengthened, and the attack on the discharge was suddenly enriched from a single way. To put it bluntly, this high-voltage pulse gene is the difference between a master and a rookie compared with a normal discharge gene. The discharge gene is simply a discharge, but it is a trick, and the high-voltage pulse is a technical discharge, and the current that is discharged by the electric shock is further enhanced. Continue to extract. After the integration, Zhang Yuan did not wait until September 25 to say that he still could not save electricity, and immediately ordered again on September 25. Because when the high-voltage pulse function was extracted, Zhang Yuan found that he still could not store electricity and could only discharge. Fill 1000 bioenergy again, random extraction for E-Mule. Random extraction is in progress. Successfully ahead of the electricity storage gene, is it fusion? Give me the fusion. When the gene was successfully extracted again in September 5, Zhang Yuan did not hesitate to order it again. If he did not succeed, he would like to go to 9252. This is all garbage. He has only 4200 points of bioenergy in total. Now, after 4 random picks, the bioenergy can only be 200 points, and even one more time will not work. Chapter 36, Absorbing Electrical Energy. Boom! The strange power once again poured into Jianzhai Yuan's body. When this force poured into Jianzhai Yuan's body, Zhang Yuan suddenly found himself adding another ability. Save electricity. He can clearly perceive that he can store the electricity generated by the electric muscles in the body, and once he wants to use it, he can increase the power outbreak. And this is just the electric muscle, he also felt that he can absorb other currents for storage. 957, I am now able to absorb other currents. Although I can determine that I can discharge according to the perception of Zhang Yuan, I still can't help but ask Zhang Yuan. Yes, the host, you can now absorb other currents for storage, but your body is not strong enough now, and you can't store currents endlessly. This does not need to say that I also know, after all, the electric light people are so powerful, but cannot absorb the power endlessly, let alone me. Zhang Yuan Dao. Yet. The 9227th should be heard, and then no more words. When the 9257 was no longer spoken, Zhang Yuan went to the position of the power jack in the room. After walking to the position of the power jack, Zhang Yuan looked at the jack, and there was some hesitation. Although he can be sure that he can absorb the current. But to be honest, this electricity is for humans, but anyone who knows the common sense of safety knows that this thing can't be touched casually. This year, even charging the mobile phone will kill people because of some accidents, let alone get them directly into the jack. Mama, let's take a look at the charger first. After Zhang Yuan stood in the jack position, he finally did not take risks. He ran to his room and got a mobile phone charger from the room before he returned to the gym again. As for why I went back to the gym instead of absorbing electricity in his room. In the unlikely event of an accident, or what causes damage, the gym is not the room of your own. Plug the power plug into the jack, follow Zhang Yuan to pull the data cable down, make the wire bare, and then plug it into the power plug. Followed by Zhang Yuan, there was nothing to worry about, and directly pinched the exposed copper wire. But after he squeezed the copper wire, Zhang Yuan's hand was slightly numb, and he obviously felt that his body was absorbing current and storing it in the electric muscle. Sure enough, it is okay. Zhang Yuan glanced at the eyes, followed by a deep breath, temporarily turning off the power switch of the jack, then pulling the plug out of the jack, then violently destroying it and destroying it. After the plug is inserted, the 2 pieces of iron are inserted into the jack and inserted into it. After doing this kind of thing, Zhang Yuan turned on the power switch, and suddenly saw 2 pieces of iron with a flash of lightning. He is jealous. Zhang Yuan suppressed the instinct of the heart to curb the electricity, cursed it, and then bite the teeth, and pinched 2 pieces of iron. At the moment of pinching the iron piece, Zhang Yuan's body was a tremor, and a strong current rushed into his body, causing his body to jerk. If it is a normal person, under this hemp, it will be fainting, or directly by the electric paste, electrocution, or something. However, although Zhang Yuan felt a numbness in his body, he suddenly found out that his body had become very comfortable. The whole body was leaping, and the current was constantly absorbed. Hey! Not waiting for Zhang Yuan to be happy about such a situation, suddenly the electricity that is constantly flowing into his body is suddenly broken. What's going on? Zhang Yuan subconsciously stunned. The host, it seems that the leakage switch of the villa suddenly tripped. Suddenly explained to Zhang Yuan at 9:527. Zhang Yuan. Well, under normal circumstances, leakage switches, leakage protection, or something, are mainly for safety reasons. But this will go beyond the ranks of ordinary people. This kind of design has become a bit confusing. Without a word of mouth, Zhang Yuan did not continue to try to absorb what electricity. The entire villa has a leakage setting, as long as he absorbs it, the leakage switch will stop continuously. After no longer trying to continue to absorb electricity, Zhang Yuan walked out of the gym and then went to the beach outside the villa. He wants to try his underwater survival ability. Soon Zhang Yuan came to the beach. When he came here, there was already someone there. I saw that Tony Stark didn't even carry it in the lab at this time, but in a swimsuit and swimming in the sea. Hey, Zhang Yuan! Seeing Zhang Yuan came to the beach, Tony Stark, who was swimming back, saw Zhang Yuan as the first time. Okay. Zhang Yuan responded. Zhang Yuan took off his clothes and took it into the water. As for the swimsuit and swimming trunks, the entire bay was contracted by their home. Does he need that thing? Real man does not need swimming trunks, is to swim naked. Seeing Zhang Yuan, Tony Stark was shocked. He was not only shocked by Zhang Yuan's behavior, but also shocked Zhang Yuan what he was going to do next. Zhang Yuan, you will not be prepared to go swimming in the sea, I don't know when you will swim this guy, need me to teach you? Tony Stark said suspiciously to Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan answered Tony Stark with action. I saw him slamming into the water. Once inside the sea, Zhang Yuan suddenly disappeared. Shit, Zhang Yuan, Zhang Yuan. After seeing Zhang Yuan sneak into the water, it didn't appear for more than a minute. Tony Stark was shocked and quickly shouted, but he didn't see it. Zhang Yuan. Tony Stark was in a hurry and rushed to the place where Zhang Yuan disappeared. When he swam to the place where Zhang Yuan disappeared, he quickly plunged into the water and found it, but he did not find Zhang Yuan. Chapter 37, Capture. Zhang Yuan, you come out Zhang Yuan. Seeing that he had been looking for a while, he could not find Zhang Yuan. Tony Stark was in a hurry and kept shouting. He is really afraid of Jianjia Yuan's accident. Oh, what happened? Under the shouts of Tony Stark, Zhang Yuan suddenly took a 30-meter position from Tony Stark and suddenly came out and looked at Tony Stark with a puzzled look. He really didn't know what was going on. When he jumped back, the body produced a kind of swimming, the instinct of diving, let him subconsciously sneak into the bottom. After diving into the water, he followed it to this strange ability. He only feels that he is living in the water like a natural one. No matter what kind of wind and waves he meets, he has no influence on him. You still ask me what's wrong, damn, you scared me to know, no. Tony Stark said to Zhang Yuan in anger. With the anger of Tony Stark, Zhang Yuan also understood Tony Stark that he was worried about himself. Suddenly, I couldn't help but feel moved. Then I'm sorry to Tony Stark, I'm sorry Tony, I forgot to tell you, actually I'm going to swim. Humph. Tony Stark didn't breathe again and glanced at Zhang Yuan. Fortunately, his heart was fine, and he couldn't be surprised by anything wrong. After glance at Zhang Yuan, Tony Stark followed and curiously asked, when did you learn to swim? I have never seen you swimming before. Secret. Zhang Yuan squinted at Tony Stark. Cut. Tony Stark rolled his eyes and then he was too lazy to pay attention to Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan saw nothing to say, and all kinds of swims up, it is completely avatar into the water, although some postures of swimming, obviously different from the posture of ordinary people, but it gives a very natural, this white feels like this, seeing Tony Stark shaking his head. After a while with Zhang Yuan, Tony Stark went to the shore and continued to study his exoskeleton armor. The portable simplification of the exoskeleton armor still has no small problem. For example, in the case of the situation, if he has an exoskeleton armor around him, then he will be able to find Zhang Yuan in the first place, instead of worrying about it. At this time, he is unprecedentedly wanting to make the exoskeleton armor more portable. In addition, the waterproof ability of Tony Stark also suddenly felt that it needs to be strengthened. Seeing Tony Stark went ashore without saying anything, Zhang Yuan shook his head and followed it again to the bottom of the water, admiring some of the conditions under the water, which is much better than taking diving equipment underwater. Time is in Tony Stark's research on the exoskeleton armor, and Zhang Yuan's various tossing of his own new abilities, and the proficiency continues to pass. A blink of an eye. Most of the time in half a month has passed. This is the exoskeleton armor you showed me. In a laboratory at Stark Industries, Opata Stan was staring at a behemoth in front of him, while wearing an angry study on one of his bodies. The middle-aged man in the suit yelled. The behemoth in front of him is a huge steel armor. It is several meters high. Although it is huge in terms of size, it gives a very clumsy feeling. Yes, boss. The middle-aged man in white looked at Opata. I have provided you with so much financial and material resources, and I have given you a related video. You have actually created such a thing for me. Opata Yostin screamed. Boss, this is my best effort. On the scientific algorithm, only this type of body is the most perfect. After all, it is the core of his power, it takes up a considerable part, and it is small, it can't be perfect. Drive. White is humane. The exoskeleton armor in the video is what it is. Opata Yostin angered. That, cough, boss, you may be cheated, the video said that it is not allowed to be faked. White middle-aged man coughed. Roll. Opata Stan slaps on the face of a middle-aged man in white, and his mood is quite bad at this time. After being slapped in the face of Opata Stan, the middle-aged man in white was very angry, but he did not dare to resist anything. After climbing from the ground, he left. Tony Stark, Tony Stark. Damn. Although I always know that you are a genius, I didn't think that your genius has reached this point. I spend a lot of manpower, financial resources and material resources to imitate what you have made. Skeleton armor, actually can't compare with what you have done alone. The core of power. What is the core of the power you use? Obadiah looked gloomy at the huge behemoth in front of him, and his right hand clenched his fist into a fist. I don't believe it, I can't get it. Tony Stark, this is what you forced me. Hee hee. Opata Yostin's eyes flashed suddenly, followed by a call and dialed a number. After the call is connected, the order without hesitation, give me a plan to start catch Zhang Yuan. After the order was placed, the phone was hung up. This is to let people catch Zhang Yuan, and then use Zhang Yuan to force Tony Stark to hand over the core of energy, and even hand over the design of the entire exoskeleton armor. The last time his black bodyguard went to deal with Zhang Yuan, he couldn't kill Zhang Yuan. In the heart of Opata, he only thought it was a mistake. He didn't think that Tony Stark had such a high-end armor. I don't think Zhang Yuan itself has super fighting power. Therefore, he believes that as long as he let his men start to work on Zhang Yuan again, in the case of knowing that Tony Stark has the exoskeleton armor in advance, it is only necessary to determine that there is no exoskeleton armor around Zhang Yuan. Once Zhang Yuan goes out, it will definitely be able to seize Zhang Yuan without the power of Ash. As for whether this will lead to the involvement of the FBI, it is doubtful that Opata is not afraid of anything. As long as you can get Tony Stark's exoskeleton armor, then after killing Tony and Zhang Yuan, he can completely use the exoskeleton armor as a card, and negotiate with the military and the top of the M countries. It is impossible. Directly cooperate with other countries, directly let M countries vote for the device, do not dare to do it. So such a thing, he is determined to win. Chapter 38, Go to Osborne Group. Obey Yostin's order. What counts, Zhang Yuan does not know. If you know, he must be welcome with both hands. At present, he and Tony Stark are both preparing to clear off Opata, but there is no evidence to kill him. As for the assassination, this guy usually travels with a lot of bodyguards around him. If something is wrong, it will be the first time to report something. Plus Tony Stark is still more in love with the old situation, not prepared to secretly kill Opata, and not to Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan did not pay attention to Opata, waiting for Opata jump out yourself. Zhang Yuan, who has a good understanding of the development of the story, is very clear. Although his story has far deviated from the original story because of his arrival, Opajuistan's recent people have seen the exoskeleton armor. Once you return to tell Opata, you will definitely be heartwarming. In fact, on the night of the attack, Opajuistan could not wait to find the door. Therefore, although these days, Obata has not come to trouble, but Zhang Yuan is also very clear, the guy will find the door again sooner or later. This day, Zhang Yuan exercised his body as usual, and then went to find Tony Stark. He knew Tony Stark very easily at the institute. I said, Tony, you have some time to retreat, do you want to go out with me? Zhang Yuan told Tony Stark. Go out? Zhang Yuan, are you ready to lure Opadayan to do it for you? Tony Stark, who was writing the formula, stopped his movements and then looked at Zhang Yuan. How come you are like this? Zhang Yuan wrote. Your old brother, I am not white. Since Opajuistan wants to deal with us, not long ago, his men saw that we have exoskeleton armor, and we will definitely try to imitate it, but we want to imitate it. It is simply impossible, although the arc reaction furnace is in Stark Industries, but his white idiot simply cannot think of the arc reaction furnace can be used as the core energy of the exoskeleton armor, and he does not have that aspect. Manufacturing technology. Therefore, in the absence of an energy core, even if he is counterfeit, the exoskeleton armor that is created will inevitably be quite bloated, huge, whether flexible or mobile, absolutely nothing. In the case of unsuccessful counterfeiting, he will definitely put his attention on us again. If there is only me in my family, he will definitely find a way to deal with me, but there is your existence besides me. Then he wants the technique of the exoskeleton armor, it will inevitably catch you to threaten me. It's not certain that someone is staring at anything now, so as long as you go out, it's easy to be attacked. Tony Stark glanced at Zhang Yuan and then said abruptly. Hey, Tony, I always thought that you didn't have anything else in your mind except for the girls' clothes, and the weapons. I didn't expect you to be smart. Zhang Yuan looked very surprised. Tony Stark. I was very smart or not, I am a genius. Tony Stark glanced at Zhang Yuan. Well, my great genius, although you said it makes sense, but I am not ready to seduce Opajuistan to do it to me. I have some time to train at home, some are irritated, ready to go out. In addition, by the way, go to Osborne Group. Zhang Yuan Deo. You, the otaku, will have the idea of going out. It's incredible. As for Osborne, what do you go to Osborne? Tony Stark asked with a strange look and followed the doubts. The Osborne Group has a special kind of spider silk. I am going to buy some spider silk and come over and let you create a gadget for me. Zhang Yuan Deo. What gadgets? Tony Stark said. You also know that my reaction ability is very fast. In fact, in addition to the quick response ability, I also have a spider-like biological static electricity. I can climb a wall like a spider. In this case, if I can get the Osborne Group, the special spider silk, and then you make a spider silk launcher, I can travel more and more in the city to walk, the ability to fight. Zhang Yuan Deo. What's the point? You have the exoskeleton armor I made for you, where you need such things. Tony Stark snorted and snorted, a pair of Zhang Yuan. You did not pursue Zhang Yuan. Whether it's interesting or not, you can do it for me when you do it. Don't say that you can't do anything like that. Zhang Yuandao. How is it possible? You don't look at who I am. As long as you bring things, I can make a lot of you in 3 or 2 times, there is no technical content. Tony Stark. That's it, you have to go out. Zhang Yuandao. Forget it, I will not go out. When you go out, be careful. It is better to bring the exoskeleton armor to the car, and even wear the exoskeleton armor directly, so as not to be attacked. If you something to do, I don't know how to give Howard the old mixed egg. After all, when he died, let me take care of you. Tony Stark. I will be careful. Zhang Yuandao. That keeps in touch. If Opata Stan is really doing this to you as I said, I will try to take advantage of this opportunity and directly defeat him. I always let him calculate what is behind the scenes. Very annoying. Once I have something, I will contact me immediately. Tony Stark said with a glimmer of light. Well, I am now hoping that he can shoot. Zhang Yuan said with a smile, and then left the lab and went outside the villa. Uncle Stan, I have given you several chances. If you dare to do it again, you can only send you to prison. After Zhang Yuan left, Tony Stark looked at the complicated opening. For Obadiah, Tony Stark really didn't want to deal with him easily. After all, this used to be a very trusting elder. At the beginning, Howard's old mixed egg was suddenly shot, and he was comforted by Obadiah. He encouraged him and supported him so that he could take over the Stark group with ease. However, Zhang Yuan is his only younger brother. He has been attacked twice in succession and has already made him intolerable. Chapter 39, Found a Wild Spider-Man. After Zhang Yuan walked out of the door, he followed a driving track and headed straight to the position of the Osborne group. In the process of moving forward, a box was placed under the seat in his co-pilot position. It is the portable exoskeleton armor. Although Zhang Yuan's strength, ordinary attacks are nothing to him, but this exoskeleton armor is also prepared. Galloping all the way, moving from the suburbs to the city. In the suburbs, Zhang Yuan did not encounter any attacks until he came to the city. Almost just arrived in the urban area, one of the buildings above used a telescope to discover Zhang Yuan. The goal appears. Attention to all units. Closely monitor Zhang Yuan, and pay attention to whether there are people around Zhang Yuan who are secretly protecting. After confirming that there is no other person, find a chance to arrest him immediately. Yes. When Zhang Yuan was discovered, a series of orders were immediately released. The people who Obadiah arranged to arrest Zhang Yuan were all on standby and ready to act. Because these people did not immediately attack Zhang Yuan did not feel any danger, so he did not know, and still kept moving toward the Osborne group. Although the Osborne group has a special spider silk, but want to buy from the Osborne group, ordinary people cannot buy it at all. However, Zhang Yuan is one of the shareholders of the Stark group. It owns 10% of the shares and its status is not bad. As long as it is willing to give money, the Osborne group will also sell his spider silk. After all, the special spider silk is not a core item of the Osborne group. It is only a special product in many biological studies. Although the Osborne group has a certain value for such a spider silk, it has not reached the point where it cannot be completely leaked. In fact, there are many people who are interested in these spiders. Along the way, Zhang Yuan did not attack and was safely reached the Osborne group. When he arrived here, Zhang Yuan casually found a parking space to stop the car, and then went to the Osborne group's lobby. The gates of the Osborne group are open, and it is effortless to enter the hall. As Zhang Yuan enters the hall, several step-type elevators are reflected in his sight. There are some security personnel on the left and right sides of the elevator. If you want to get on the elevator, you have to get a work card to get up. In addition, there is a front desk on the right side of the hall. A front desk lady wearing a professional attire is in that position, giving identity cards to some people. When Zhang Yuan saw it, Twilight was ready to go to the front desk. When he was ready to go to the front desk, he was carrying a school bag, had a chocolate-colored hair, and was a little handsome. A young student dressed like a student suddenly came in from the door. When he walked in, he looked around and looked down. He followed his eyes and fell to the front desk. He also walked quickly toward the front desk, and suddenly surpassed Zhang Yuan. When this person surpassed Zhang Yuan subconsciously collapsed. The reason why he was born was not because he was surpassed, but that he found this person very familiar. Peter Park. The sudden appearance of the youth in front of him is clearly Peter Parker among the extraordinary Spider-Man. Zhang Yuan, who has seen many Spider-Man movies, is sure that this person must be Peter Parker. How did Peter Park come to the Osborn group? And looking at him, it doesn't look like it has any powerful power. It looks like an ordinary person. It doesn't give me a sense of threat. It's hard, he hasn't been spider bite? Didn't turn into Spider-Man. Zhang Yuan's light flashed, and his thoughts turned quickly. After a slight turn of thought, Zhang Yuan would not think much about it. Because whether or not Peter Parker becomes a Spider-Man has little to do with him. As for the plundering of Peter Parker's chances, it is not necessary to mention that Zhang Yuan itself has a lot of spider genes, and that is not necessary. In addition, even if it is plundered, it is not necessarily successful. The spider that bites Spider-Man is not a bitch, it will make people mutate. Among the extraordinary Spider-Man, Spider-Man's parents used to work for the Osborn Group. Spiders that can make special spider silks are cultivated by Spider-Man's parents, and not only can they spit out special spider silk, but also make people mutate, but those spiders are being studied by Peter Parker's parents. Among them, Peter Park's genetic program was written. Only Peter Park can be activated, and other people are bitten. Not only will they not gain superpower, they will probably die. Then Zhang Yuan was once again headed for the front position. During the process of his trip, he saw Peter Parker pretending to be someone else, got an identity card, and then missed Zhang Yuan and was ready to leave, but he missed it. At the time of Zhang Yuan's body moved slightly forward and slammed into Spider-Man. Hey! Then he saw Peter Parker's defense and fell to the ground. Man, you are fine. With Peter Parker being so easily knocked down to the ground, Zhang Yuan is sure that Peter Parker is still just an ordinary person, and he will step forward to Peter Parker. I am fine. Although he was suddenly knocked down to the ground, Peter Parker was speechless, but he did not refuse Zhang Yuan's action but extended his hand to Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan pulled it up and then shook his head and said to Zhang Yuan, "Nothing is fine." Zhang Yuan said with a smile, "I'm fine, but man, your strength is really big, hitting you, I feel like I hit a piece of steel." Peter Parker looked at Zhang Yuan with some curiosity. "I often exercise, fitness, or something, so the strength is inevitably a little bigger, I know, my name is Zhang Yuan, Stark." Zhang Yuan smiled, and then Peter Parker stretched out. Peter Parker. Peter Parker stretched out and took a hand with Zhang Yuan. "So, wait for time, I invite you to eat, it is a sin against suddenly knocking you down." Zhang Yuan Deo. "No, I haven't been hurt." Peter Parker looked at Zhang Yuan Road with a little vigilance. "A stranger suddenly said that he would ask you to eat." This had to make Peter Parker wary. That's it. Seeing Peter Parker's vigilance, Zhang Yuan smiled and didn't say anything. He nodded to Peter Parker and went on to the front desk. Chapter 40, High Energy Ahead, Wild Green Devils. Seeing Zhang Yuan, Peter Parker turned and left, because he suddenly remembered that he had just reported his real name to Zhang Yuan, but he just took the identity card but was impersonating others. At this time, his position is not far from the front desk, and the front desk could not hear his dialogue with Zhang Yuan. So where does he dare to stay? Naturally it is the first time to go to the elevator. In fact, the front desk reception naturally heard the conversation between Zhang Yuan and Peter Parker, but she was not prepared to call Peter Parker, because when Peter Parker arrived here, she had already recognized Peter Parker. This is the person who the young master of the family has called. It is Harry, a close friend of Osborn. Such a person, where she dares to stop anything, so Peter Parker just pretending to be an intern, she will not reveal anything. Because in her mind, the internship will not come, so it is no wonder that their chances have been replaced. After Peter Park left, Zhang Yuan soon approached the front desk. After coming here, he listened to Zhang Yuan, who was politely at the reception desk. Hello, do you have anything? I am Zhang Yuan, Stark, one of the shareholders of the Stark Group. I want to talk to you about the Osborn Group. You can find someone who can be responsible for it. Zhang Yuan said quietly. Although the previous receptionist had heard Zhang Yuan and Peter Parker know that Zhang Yuan is Zhang Yuan, Stark, she did not link Zhang Yuan to Stark Group. Because of the name of Stark, the most famous now is Tony Stark. As for what Zhang Yuan, Stark has never heard of it before. But this will be what Zhang Yuan said, she has to pay attention to it. If this is true, then she must not be slow. Mr. Stark, please wait a moment, I will contact the company's top management. The receptionist quickly greeted Jianjia Yuan's friendliness and then called to contact the top of the Osborn Group. Under her contact, the top management was surprised after hearing such a thing, and then reported it at various levels. Soon this was passed to the Osborn Group's current chairman, Norman Osborn. But when Norman Osborn heard such a thing, he was also surprised by the subconscious. Unlike their employees, they have not heard of Zhang Yuan, Stark, Norman Osborn but have heard of Zhang Yuan, Stark's name. Isn't this the famous otaku brother of Tony Stark? How come this guy is interested in running to Osborn today, and also said that there is business to talk about? Hey, this is quite a human surprised. Norman Osborn's eyes flashed, and then he got up and walked outside the office. He is going to personally contact Zhang Yuan to see. Although in his capacity, a character like Zhang Yuan is not worthy of his contact with him, especially if he has not had much time, he does not need to contact Zhang Yuan, the legendary otaku firewood. But in any case, Zhang Yuan has a 10% stake in the Stark Group. It also has a very high voice in the Stark Group, so a certain reception is also a must. In case he died someday, because of the offense of Zhang Yuan, which caused the Osborn Group to fight with the Stark Group, this is something he did not want to see at all. Once in the war, the Osborn Group may not be able to fight the Stark Group. Although both the Osborn Group and the Stark Group are engaged in high-tech manufacturing, they have a great relationship with the military. But Osborn is mainly engaged in biotechnology research, and the Stark Group is more about weapons. And according to Norman Osborn, Howard Stark has a very close cooperation with a secret department in the country. On the background, the Osborn Group can no longer compare with the Stark Group unless the super soldier plan recently studied can be successful. Once successful, then in terms of overall strength, the Stark Group can be surpassed in an instant, but once it is not successful, they cannot compare with the current Stark Group. Because the Stark Group died in Howard, there is now another Tony Stark. Tony's design talent, manufacturing talent, is nothing worse than Howard, and even better than some extent. And his Osborn Group, now he has not been much. As for Harry, although Harry's academic performance is not bad, it is much worse than Tony Stark. This is true whether it is the wrist or the creation of talent. The only good news is that, according to his intelligence, the Stark Group is not as peaceful as it seems. The guy in Opati Yastin is not a man who is safe and self-sufficient. All kinds of secretly selling arms, this conflicts with Tony Stark's little guy's rules. So sooner or later, the two will break out of conflict because of these things. In the mind, all the thoughts turned, Norman Osborn made the elevator position, and then proceeded to the hall where Zhang Yuan was in the elevator, and arrived in the hall in a short time. After coming to the hall, he didn't need water to introduce anything. His sight fell on Zhang Yuan, who was sitting on the sofa in the reception area. Seeing Zhang Yuan's handsome face combined with the mixed blood of Europe and America, he recognized this as Zhang Yuan Stark for the first time. I have heard that Howard and an Asian woman have a very handsome boy. I didn't expect this guy to be really handsome. Unfortunately, although handsome, but in terms of design talent and management talent, it is much worse than Tony Stark. This is a guy who has been rated as a firewood by the top executives of major group companies. Most people comment that he has no threat. Once the Tony Stark of the Stark Group died because of any unexpected situation, Zhang Yuan Stark is the GERD of the Stark Group, which will not be able to pick anything up. It will inevitably make the Stark Group change its dynasty and become the Obadal. The thing in the bag of Astra. Of course, it is only speculation that not everyone knows that Opata is going to start with Tony Stark. It's just a certain intelligence analysis, the imaginary scene. End of the chapter. Like and subscribe for more videos like this.